Welcome back, parents, to our third parent education night in the school year 2025-2026. Today, we are going to entertain you guys with a cooking class with Mrs. Laverne, who also happens to be a chef. And we have support from you parents, the very thing why we actually do these kind of parent education nights, namely connecting with you and building strong roots for our kids together. Okay, so we actually have a parent who pre-cooked, pre-baked the decorative cornucopia that we are going to demonstrate to you here today. And we hope that you all got your little tool. So in these packages that we give you, there always is a little gadget. So this time you received a little metal cone, okay? And hopefully also our foamy clay, air dry clay, that you can use to practice. So as Chef Laverne is going to show us how to wrap the dough around the cone to create one of those beautiful creations that you're going to see here in a moment. Okay, we can practice braiding with our little practice dough. Okay, so yeah, that is me braiding. Anyway, we have a little bit of an intro here, cooking with children as a tool for growth on the agenda, how sensing, transforming, and sharing can contribute to kids understanding the world better and forming a stronger sense of self and relationship with the world. Yeah, obviously, and this is always our interest, as you guys know, it's all about the relationship with foods and health. And there's no better way than doing that with cooking, because with cooking, the kids actually, have the sensory experience with touching and with kneading and with, preparing the food. Here at Master Tree, obviously, we get this all the way into farming and have the kids really raise the fruits and vegetables from the seed up. So relationship with foods is a very important thing for Master Tree Academy, and so is the cultural aspect, where we can use our cooking classes as cue for understanding other cultures, languages, geographies, even history. Yeah, so this is Mrs. Laverne's forte. Yeah, really sort of bringing, this aliveness through foods, through spices, through herbs, yeah, into the kids' learning experience, into their academic experience. And then we're going to have an actual real cooking class. All right. So we're going to see what Miss Laverne has in stock for you here. And we're going to share a little bit of a testimonial from Mary, who's Jane's mom. Jane is 5 years old. She's in tier one. She's one of my students, and she pre-cooked the whole thing. And we have a step-by-step guide with photos from her doing it with her daughter. Yeah, so what we are doing here, we just sort of call this integrative cooking, but really what it is all about, is the health awareness that I already mentioned, getting over food aversions. Many of our children nowadays don't like greens, don't like vegetables, don't like fruits. So a big part of that is just simply not knowing them well. And, when you grow a strawberry from seed up and you see how long it takes for a strawberry to grow, that changes the kids' relationships to foods. I mean, they talk to the fruits, they talk to the vegetables every morning, right, Siri? You guys water them. You have a relationship with your strawberries. Okay. And that is basically the integration aspect. And when you grow something, when you like have this relationship, eating it is a whole different experience. The cultural awareness I mentioned, and that's something that we can all learn from, really, is understanding history, understanding geography, understanding like the traditions, even the spiritual traditions, yeah, of countries through their foods is a wonderful way of doing that. And for many of our kids who have sensory integration issues, really the different textures, the different ways that things behave, even the chemical changes and so forth that occur when you cook are wonderful lessons, along with problem solving. What do I do if I don't have all ingredients? What do I do if I'm allergic to certain things? How can I replace this or this, or I don't have enough of this, or I prefer this or that. Problem solving in the kitchen, as most parents know, is a huge factor, yeah, in learning, like how to deal with everyday problems. Family heritage. So at the end of our little parent education night here, we're going to suggest to you to actually start a new family tradition. And Miss Laverne has some wonderful suggestions here that I might even try for myself. Okay. And last but not least, the ecological awareness, yeah, that is formed by the kids connecting with the earth, with the food that we need to give to the plants, so that they can grow. So here, a beautiful quote: when a child steers, needs, and tastes with reverence, they're not only feeding their body, they're feeding their soul. That's sort of our thought behind, going the extra mile and offering cooking classes at school. So here you see a picture of Valentina doing fettuccine with Mrs. Laverne. Okay, and that's something that many of our kids are very proud of. We actually sell some of our self-made products at our annual farmers market in April. And looking at developmental stages, and cooking, really what we see here is all the different learning goals for our kids. Um, coming together when we, prepare meals, when we share recipes, when we, sort of start making it more about the relationships. And, here for the younger kids, learning how to master certain tools. For the, second graders, third graders, about maybe making suggestions, being a little bit more involved in what to cook, what to make for dinner. Then for the fourth, fifth graders, it's a little bit about, what do I know and what do I want? Yeah. And for the older kids, for the middle school kids, even maybe the inspiration for them to cook a meal for the parents. All right. So these are, some of the suggestions that we want to give you. And in a moment here, I'm going to switch over to Mrs. Laverne, to Chef Laverne. We took these photos here just a few minutes ago. So this is all live, guys. Okay. The cornucopia as well as Mrs. Laverne here in the background. Okay. I just want to add one thing. Miss Jane and her mom did pre-cook everything in tier one. We also did like little mini cornucopias that we will that we will learn how to do them today. And Jane's mom, Mary, owns her own catering business, A3 Confections. And we just recently had the discussion about perhaps prepackaged lunch boxes. If you look at her menu online, a3confections.com, you're going to see like phenomenal lunchbox ideas and meals, super healthy meals. I admire Jane's lunch every day. So if this is something that you'd be interested in, let us know. Because if we get at least 5 families together, we can actually offer this for you. That, we have pre-made lunches here for your kids at school, so you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to order anything or whatever. All right. Well, then let's get going. By the way, there is a document attached, a step-by-step guide, all right, that you can print out if it was hard for you to follow. And just one of the last things I'm going to say here is Cooking is one of the simplest yet most profound ways to help our children grow, not only in skill, but in awareness, curiosity, and connection. In a world where convenience often replaces craft, guiding a child to cook returns learning to its most human roots, sensing, transforming, and sharing. All right, so now I'm going to turn the slides off. Just a moment here. Please welcome Mrs. Laverne.
Welcome, everybody. Good evening, and thank you for tuning in. We have for you today an easy way to connect with your family over the holidays. So Thanksgiving is coming up, and we are excited to share a cornucopia. The cornucopia, as you know, is the horn of plenty, and it was used aeons ago to represent blessings and lots of things to share with family. So, as Ms. Yona was telling you earlier, we have a few ideas for you to present this or to even have an activity with your children during this holiday season. Um, we are going to start with a mold, and you can use this or do this with paper if you want to do something bigger than the one that we gave you. So I do know that in your package you received something this big, and with this you can make little Christmas trees if you're interested in doing something like that, or you can even make smaller cornucopias for individual use. And so today we're going to start with what you need. So at first, you're going to need the little cone, whether you make it with paper or you make it with the one that I gave you. These are very inexpensive and you can find them anywhere in the baking section. And also you can start, you also need foil paper. So foil paper, paper, uh, tape, and you can form your cone or use this. You also need dough. I am using today pizza dough, and but you can use French bread, crescent roll, any kind of even phyllo. So all of those things can be used uh, in combination with different things. So if you want to use phyllo, you can actually use it for the decoration. Say, for example, you want to make a star or you use a cutout for it, you can actually do that as well. So I'm going to start with a pizza cutter. If you don't have a pizza cutter, you can use a knife, and I'm going to make strips with it. During school, we have been teaching the skill of braiding as well. So you can also teach your child to braid. What a great way to decorate your cornucopia, which we did with our first year, and we're going to be doing with second year as well. This is about a 1/2 inch thickness. You can do it smaller. This particular one is pizza dough. Yesterday, I made one at home, and it took 5 tubes of that dough that comes in a tube that scares you when it pops. Well, that's the one I used, and it always surprises me. It always pops when I least expect it. When you have your, so I'm going to use a bigger one, but you can use the smaller one like I have here. When you have your size, you can start from the tip of the horn. Okay, so we're going to take a smaller piece of dough, and we're going to start wrapping from the top, and we're going to overlap as we go down, like this way. We are going to pinch the dough. You can even add a little bit of egg wash to make sure that it stays put. and continue rolling the dough. This is very easy with a smaller version of the cornucopia. When you have a bigger version of the cornucopia, it's a little bit more time consuming, as well as it's a little bit more, you require perhaps another hand. But as you can see, this is not something that is super difficult with this size. And I am uh, doing this with really cold dough. Otherwise, it stretches too much and it's hard to handle. This particular one is pizza dough, but you can even use puff pastry, a French bread, like I said, and you continue to roll it until you reach sort of like where you can crumble it. I put some additional balls of foil paper to support the weight of the dough because this can get really heavy actually. Uh, I also pre-greased the the actual mold. That is so that we can crumple in and take out very easily the the foil. Another really fun idea that you can use is that you know how sometimes we want to say what we're thankful for, but we get a little shy about it. We can actually put papers instead of it, like wishes or blessings that we have experienced or our favorite part of the year, and we can, in that sense, kind of share with the family what you're most thankful for, and you can put it in your cornucopia. Also, if you have eaters that are a little bit more particular, you can include certain foods in their individual cornucopia, and they can actually feel that it's theirs. They did it. And I guarantee you they're gonna wanna eat it. Right now, I'm making a braid. And as you can tell, I used 3 strands of the dough that I have left over. I pinch them at the top, and then I start bringing each strand to the center. I might have to do something like this. You can practice this drill with the kids with the dough that we gave you. Some of you uh, might have dough already prepping for this Friday when we have our wonderful luncheon. And this is going to be a beautiful design. You can cut out leaves, you can cut out stars, you can cut out a family crest. You can make your own letters of your family. If you're making individual ones, you can make charcuterie cups. You can make awesome awesome ideas for your family to share in their creativity in the kitchen. So the shape of the cornucopia is from the harvest uh, bags that they used to use. So that tail they would sling over their shoulder as they're collecting their harvest for the year. And here's my braid. I can cut the excess out once I unite it with, and I pinch it to my end here. And here we are with our beautiful cornucopia. I don't have to do much more to it. Sometimes you have to watch where your seams are. Maybe you don't want to have any seams, but if you have any leftover dough, you can always make like a little shape, or that's where your letters would come in. I can put an MTA. I can do anything I want with this. At this point, I'm going to use my egg wash. Egg wash is just a combination of 1 egg with a little bit of water. So I've been doing this for quite a bit, so I just do it by eye, but if you want a specific amount, I would say if you're using a medium-sized egg, to put maybe a tablespoon of water and mix it. And at this point, I would have already my uh, oven. Sorry, I'm stepping away for a second. My pan, and I've already prepped it with a little bit of parchment paper, which will bake in the oven at 350. I think it's the safest, so you can take a look at your dough. Sometimes when we overlap too much, and especially if you're making this with more than one person in the kitchen, different people have different techniques. So this might be something that you want to just use 350, which is your baking temperature. And I can do this already on my parchment. My parchment is going to avoid anything sticking to it, but it's also going to allow air to go through and to heat enough so that I have a nice golden color underneath as well. Even though we're not gonna see it, it's still gonna have a really pretty finish. This is my egg wash. I can do this even with gingerbread, and you can make this sweet, and you can make it well into the holidays. So this is how it's done. This is how it looks. And this is how it's going to go in my oven for about 20 minutes, but it can be less. So it really depends how thick you have let the dough be. And I have more braids. You can cook on the side, maybe letters, and then attach it later with frosting if you're using sweet. If you're not gonna eat it, then it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to put this in the oven. I'm gonna bake it, but I'm also going to show you how uh, the one that the kids did here at school uh, turned out. How pretty. This is from Tier 1, and Tier 1 did an amazing job. They followed the directions. They really were excited to present this to uh, our baking department. And we are actually going to use one of them to show you what uh, a pretty cup of, if you want to include foods that children don't necessarily want to eat right away, but you want them to get them to know, because it's a traditional recipe maybe, or whatever you have at home that you want to include in here. I have some Gruyere, my favorite cheese. I uh, I love Switzerland. So if you want them to have a little bit of cheese, you can include, I threaded a toothpick in there, and I already put some, you can decorate whichever way you want, a little bit of carrots, perhaps sticking out, lots of color, whatever you like the best. You can put some jams and like a charcuterie knife and different things to help your children be into the mood of trying different things. And as you can see, this is how we do it here at MTA. I hope you enjoyed this absolutely wonderful occasion for us to celebrate with you and to say we're blessed to have you here, and also to say that we are blessed and happy that you could join us today.
And as you can all see, we're here in Tier 3 classroom. And one of the things that Mrs. Laverne didn't actually show us is what this phenomenal cornucopia will look like when it's done. Look at that. So, Miss Laverne, I have a question.
Yes.
You mentioned that you used 5 packages. Are you referring to this size?
For this size, I used 4 of the
Okay.
large ones of the pizza dough. It's your regular tube. This particular one, it's pizza dough, but you can use other breads. You can also use phyllo, millefeuille, which is the puff pastry, but that's a little bit more delicate. So you have to gauge who's making it and how much fun you want to have. In the end, it has to be really cold for you to be able to really maneuver with ease the dough. But yes, this has four. Four. This large one has four, and it fits in my double oven. So I have a double oven at home, and you do need to have a bigger oven for this one. Um,
Maybe not a good idea to put the turkey in there, huh?
no. So you can do this ahead of time, especially if nobody's gonna eat it, because this can, the drier it is, the sturdier it becomes, and it's even better for decoration.
I did this one day with multiple different doughs, with rye bread and phyllo dough and croissant, like puff
Yes.
pastry. And it brings out different, through the different colors, it brings out different textures. Looks really
Different
nice.
textures, and especially if the decorations you want to add leaves or the crest, it gives different dimension to it.
We used it for all the breads, like the dinner rolls and the different kinds of breads that we offered at our Thanksgiving table.
You
And
can use this as a bread basket, and instead of, having a boring basket, and not that it's boring, but instead of having just a simple basket, you can wow your guests with something you made together.
now, parents, children, do you have any questions for Chef Laverne? Let us see your creations here in the video.
Ooh.
All right, I know that some of you have been working
Wow.
while we have been recording it.
Yeah.
Ooh la la, Sasha and Mike did. Look at this. Do you see this, Miss Laverne?
I do.
Look at
That's
Kim and
amazing
Siri
what I
over there.
built.
And Suri, show us what you got.
That is
Oh, look at that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh la la.
Oh, wow.
Luca, nice. No, is this Gio? Okay, not.
Gio.
All right. So,
There
who
you go.
paid attention? Quiz question. What temperature and how many minutes?
Who paid attention? Is that a question for me?
Yeah,
Okay.
open your mics. Open your microphone.
If you have a guess.
Okay, who wants to say something? Raise your hand.
Okay, done.
Yeah.
350 degrees, 20 minutes or more.
It can be. It can be depending how big it is and how thick. If you roll it out and use it like that, it's usually thicker. So it takes about the same between 15 to 20 minutes. I did this little one with crescent roll, and it actually took about 15 minutes at 350. If you bake more or less at home, the big one, I use 5 tubes, and it was still at 350, and it took me half an hour. But I use pizza dough for that one, and pizza dough tends to be thinner, and it cooks a lot quicker. So it really depends how thick it is, and that's why I leave it up to you. You have to have a watchful eye, because this can go really fast, especially if you're using an egg wash, which you should, because it's going to give it a beautiful sheen to it. It's the perfect ending.
Actually, you can see here the difference with both the cornucopias, one with and one without egg wash.
Yes, this didn't have egg wash, and this one did.
Yeah. So it bakes differently and gets a really nice shine.
And then if you're watching a tip that you can do this while it's cooking, and you start to see that something perhaps is baking quicker because if it's closer to the element of the oven, you can take a little bit, just throw it in there, open the oven and throw it in there on top, on top of your, where you think it's getting too brown, and you can stop the burning process.
Any questions? All right, then I'm going to come around here, Mrs. Laverne.
Yes.
Okay, we hope you guys enjoyed our cooking class with Mrs. Laverne. Okay, our next class is going to be crafts together. All right, I'm going to show you a picture of Jane doing the braids and doing the mini cornucopias. And on Friday, this Friday, in just a few days, we all will hope to see you upstairs for our parent or family Thanksgiving luncheon. We already saw the beautiful things that you're going to share with us. So when you come on Friday morning, drop off your dishes or whenever you come, in the hallway.
Yes.
And
As a matter of fact, for the main dishes, if you are in tier 3 and your dish is hot, you need to bring it with you as close to the time of the actual event as possible, because we don't have the capability of heating up everything from a fridge temperature. So what we can do is keep it hot, but we can't bring it up to the right temperature, if you understand.
all right, and here you see Jane doing the braids. And do we have Jane and Mary online here? Do we have you guys here live?
Yep, we're here now.
Oh, hi. I know you guys just came home from gymnastics.
Yep.
So Mary, tell us a little bit, and Jane, maybe you as well. What was it like cooking with your daughter, with your 5-year-old, making cornucopias?
Well, we cook a lot together at home, but this was a little different for her, wrapping it around the cone. How did you like making cornucopias?
Good.
What
Good.
was the hardest part, Jane?
Doing the wrapping around the cornucopia thing, because I do not even know how to do that, but now I do.
Oh, cool. So you're an expert now?
Uh-huh.
Oh, so you know what? Why don't you show Tier 2 tomorrow, okay, how to do this? All right.
Okay.
Since you can already do this, all right, I'm sure that they will be more open to learn from you than from us teachers, because we talk to them all day long. All right. And once more, Mary, thank you so much. I already did a shout out earlier and mentioned that you do offer pre-packed lunch and pre-prepared meals, very healthy meals. That this is something that we might be looking forward to in the future. So if you guys are interested in pre-made healthy lunches with a menu and different options to pick from, then please let us know or talk to Mary directly. We will give you the link here in the video that we are creating for our channel. Here you see the step-by-step guide that Mary and Jane created for us. So in case you cannot be here live, you can print this out and put this on your kitchen counter. It's added here to the Zoom call. You can download it as a document. All right, so let's close here now. Okay, Mrs. Laverne already mentioned that this is a great way of starting, something that you can do with your whole family, even if you have a small family, if you just have one child, why not start a new family tradition? Like I felt very inspired by maybe creating sort of a family crest and baking that. All right. Or even just baking letters or baking, little gadgets for the Thanksgiving table. Wonderful idea. Yeah, I love the idea with little blessings that you stuff into the cornucopia or anything that you would like. So really what it comes down to is, it doesn't matter what you use, but if you use something that provides a sensory experience and a life experience within the child. Yeah, the experience is basically there forever. Your kids will remember this. They will remember making cornucopias with you. They will remember what it felt like, to stuff it either with beautiful fruits and vegetables or to put blessings in there. They will remember this for the rest of their lives. So let's not underestimate that, yeah, how beautiful of a family tradition that can be. And we are all very, very proud of you guys. We thank you for coming. We thank you for being open. We hope that these parent education nights are entertaining, educational, and fun, and maybe also inspirational. Okay, we will keep doing them, all right, unless you tell us otherwise. Thank you so much, Mrs. Laverne.
Oh,
Okay,
thank you.
we're still in school here, so yes, we are looking forward now to trying this at home. And you guys have a good evening and see you again tomorrow morning. Thank you.
Have a nice evening.
Bye bye.